differentiate y equals, and in parentheses here we have 3x cubed minus 2x plus 1 over x, and all of that to the negative second power. All right, this looks a little bit complicated here, but let's try to break this down. What do we really got, right? This is a composite function. Okay, so what do we mean by that? Okay, so let's say we have this f dot g of x, right? So we got to have some outer function and some inner function, and in this case, the outer function will be x to the negative second power, and the inner function is going to be whatever's inside the parentheses, right? 3x cubed minus 2x plus 1 over x here. Okay, but how we're going to find the derivative of this guy, right? Well, using the chain rule, right? What does the chain rule say? The derivative of this composite function is going to be f prime, right, evaluated at g of x. So we're going to find the derivative of f and just plug g into there, times g prime of x. Okay, so let's take a look. So dy dx here, right, the derivative, we're going to do this in steps. What's the first thing we do? We take the derivative of f, right? What is the derivative of f? In this case, we can just use a general power rule, right? We get negative 2, okay, x to the negative third power. But we notice, wait a minute, we have to evaluate this, right? Instead of leaving it as x, we have to plug in the g of x in here. Okay, so that's, and negative third power means we put 1 over that, right? So let me go ahead and do that. So negative 2 over, so I'm going to put in g of x in here, which is 3x cubed minus 2x plus 1 over x, and all of this to the third power. Okay, so that's this part, right? We took f prime, evaluated at g. But then what do we have to multiply this by? We have to multiply it by the derivative of the inner function. And this one, we can just use a power rule for each one. Of course, we know that 1 over x is x to the negative first power. Okay, so what is the derivative of g? In this case, once again, we can do each one by one using the power rule. So what do we get? Well, we get 9x squared, right? Bring down to 3, and then subtract 1, right? What's the derivative of 2x? Right, that's just going to be 2. And then for this one, what do we get? The derivative of this is negative 1 x to the negative second power, or we can say negative 1 over x squared. Okay, so minus 1 over x squared. Okay, and there we go. Right, of course, we can bring this up to here. Okay, we can leave it in parentheses or just bring it in, right? It doesn't really matter. Okay, but essentially we have this as being our derivative. One thing you don't want to do, right? You don't want to bring this x squared down to the bottom. We can't do that because it sort of goes together with these guys here. Okay, so this would be it, right? This would be your derivative.